What's up, guys? It's McNulty here. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing well. So today we are going to be diving back into the mysteries of the deep, and that is just because we have this ugly looking hero with a costume now who is gracing us with her presence. It is Ceto, or Ceto, however you want to say it. I'm interested to have a look at her because obviously the stock is going up in the Untold Tales heroes because of their resistance against insanity. They're really, really good to use in the Insanity Wars, but hopefully they will have done a little bit extra with this costume. So we're going to jump right into the portal right now and start off and have a look at her. I don't know if they've had any other new heroes featured. I know that they've probably done all of the 4 stars because they only literally released 3 4 stars into this portal. So I think it is just Ceto from the new batch. She's going to be featured alongside Spartoy, who's also got a costume, the Mega Fiend Summoner, but I've got to be careful now because we do actually have Mega Fiends in the game, of course. And also the lovely Medea, who is just an absolutely brilliant costume. So yeah, there's some good heroes featured in here, and we're going to see whether Ceto can stack up and keep up with the time, so to speak. So of course, we'll start off with the basics. She is an ice hero. She is of the fighter class in this card. So she was a barbarian in the old card, now moving over to a fighter. That's a pretty decent upgrade for Ceto because it gives her the chance to revive. Now, she's also of the nightmares. No, she's not. She's not a nightmare. Come on. She's got to be a nightmare. She looks like a freaking nightmare. Anyway, she's a Defender of Atlantis, apparently. So she's one of the good guys. So they get a bonus for 1 or 2 heroes. It's a 50 or 75% chance to give all allies plus 36% attack for 3 turns after the character receives special skill damage. And if the skill defeats the enemy, then the chance is 75 or 100%. I never go with that. Just go with the first part. So 50 or 75% chance to give extra attack after they receive special skill damage, which is pretty cool. And then the hero gets extra bonus with heroes in the Atlantis family. It doesn't really come into play all that often. Costume bonuses for these heroes do, though, and these have been increased relatively recently, so we can see the team power is pretty good. Attack bonus is 19%, defense 19%, health of 23%, and the all-important 5% mana boost, which is always awesome. It's kind of weird with the changing tides, though, pardon me, because obviously you get the fast speed at the first charge and then the average speed at the second. So the extra 5% doesn't really make a huge amount of difference. But it's still there. It's still, it is, every little bit helps, I guess, but it doesn't really help them that much. They could probably do with a different type of bonus rather than a mana bonus on their stats, to be fair. The passives. So 50% chance to deal 80% damage to all enemies. Really, really like that when they cast their special skill, and all allies getting an increased 21% critical chance. Pretty cool. But this is where it's all at. Resistance against insanity, innate resistance against insanity comes in awesome in obviously the Ancient Terror War. And it also comes in incredible now in the events that we've got where we're facing the cultists from the crazy world of Cthulhu or wherever they come from. So let's move on to the stats. We'll switch off the max power preview. I've just got to move myself a bit. There we go. So max power is off, and we're running a team power of 1100. So lagging a little bit behind the competition. I feel like we've got to see a little bit of an update for these guys in terms of their power, just to get them on par with everybody else. So attack 1191, that's respectable, very respectable. Defense of just under 1,000, which is okay. We can let you off. And health of 2,000. So she's only lacking a bit in the defense department, but you can kind of work with that, which is cool. I'd rather it be that way than any other way around. As far as the ether talent, special skill boost. So that's compared to attack up. I kind of prefer the attack up in the old version, I must say. Special skill boost. It increases the damage of a special skill by 30% for the first 6 turns, but attack up just increases the damage of everything, including the special skills. So I kind of rather have the attack up. Now let's have a look. We'll compare the two. So the old special was Tidal Vortex, and she's obviously running at the Changing Tides mana speed. That just means the first cast is at fast speed, then the second is at average speed, and then it goes from fast to average, but it stays at the second cast. It's a whole weird thing. It took me like forever to understand it. All you need to know is that once you get to the second cast, that is where it stays. So for the first charge, she used to deal 350% damage to the target and minor to all other enemies. That's at fast speed. If hit enemies use their special skill in the next 4 turns, they then get negative 34% attack, negative 34% defense, and negative 24% mana generation for 4 turns. So it's pretty brutal. It's pretty punishing, and it's a decent amount. It's a hit all, basically, that she's just doing slightly less damage to the rest of the team and higher damage to a single target. So it's cool. Second charge, she was dealing 470% damage to the target and minor damage to all the other enemies. So now they're getting a harder hit, 235 odd percent to all. And if they use their special skill, they get the same amount. So negative 34%, 34%, and 24% on the mana generation. So it's a defense down, attack down, and mana generation down. But then on the second charge, all enemies also receive 740 water damage over 4 turns. It's not the hugest amount, but the caster does absorb 50% of the dealt water damage's health, so it keeps her alive. She's kind of selfish, though. She's kind of 6 of one and half a dozen the other. Like, she does some cool stuff, but she doesn't really do enough all on her own. So let's see if things have changed. Right, so the new special is called Ocean Vortex. And first charge, she's going to be dealing 340% damage to the target and minor to all other enemies. So she's had a reduction in damage by 10%. And it looks like the next 4 turns, there's a reduction as well. So they get negative 24% attack, 24% defense down, and negative 14% mana generation, which sucks. It sucks all day long. It's not as good as the first one. The only thing that's better than the first one is the fighter class. So yeah, that's it. Now let's move on to the second tide. We'll see if anything's different. Right. Nice figure there to start off with. Deals 500% damage to the target and minor to all other enemies. So a harder hit. If hit enemies use their special skill in the next 5 turns, is that a turn count more? Let's have a quick look. It is a turn count more. Okay, that's interesting. And the first one is the same. So it was a 4 turn. So that's big. That is pretty big. So getting an extra turn count on that, they get negative 39% attack, negative 44% defense down. That's going to be good. That means you can now do some pretty serious damage. Granted, now you're talking about her getting up to second charge, so it's going to be a slower grind. But if she does get to that second charge, negative 44%, you're going to be able to wreck some teams. So I like that, and I like the fact that it lasts for 5 turns. And then negative 24% mana generation, but then also all enemies receive 995 water damage. They couldn't make it 1,000, but then like 995, that sounds like more than 1,000. It's like when they say like something in the shops like 999, like just seems better. But yeah, that's a lot of water damage. It is over 5 turns though. Previously she had 750 over 4 turns, so it's kind of almost the same. But it is still some extra. If they don't have a cleanse available, it's definitely going to come in handy. And then the caster absorbs 50% of dealt water damage as health. Let's have a look. That's exactly the same as before. So she is still selfish. It is still like her getting some extra healing. But I like this charge. Like, I mean, everybody's going to be saying the same thing, but she is super strong in the second charge. What I don't like is the art. The art looks freaking terrible. She's just the worst looking card out of the whole Untold Tales. Like the shark fin looks like it's coming out the wrong way. Having some extra bits and bobs going on her kind of makes a difference. It kind of makes it look a little bit better, but I still think it's pretty trashy hero card art. That being said, the costume is definitely better than the original. It's pretty much more of the same in terms of the special skill and everything else. But when you get to that charge 2, the damage, she hits harder. She does more damage over time. She's got a better class. Couple that up with the family bonus and the passive. I do like the passive where they get the extra 80% damage. So don't forget about that because it adds to her damage. So that's, 580% damage potentially, and an extra 250 plus the 80%, so another like 320% damage to all. So this hero can hit like a freaking truck if you get it to that second charge. So yeah, I like her. And also not forget about the resistance against insanity. There's a lot to like about this hero. Definitely a decent hero. So huge congrats to any of you if you do manage to pull Ceto from this portal. Please do let me know in the comments what you guys think about this hero. I always love to hear all of your comments. Yeah, drop us a like, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. And if you don't want to miss any future content, please be aware we do also have memberships on the channel. That's probably the best way that you can show your support if you do want to support me as a creator. And yeah, share it with your mother, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye for now.